Hi, everyone.
Hello again.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 years ago, we did a video which, for the time, got a pretty good response. It was addressed to ex-JWs, and it
Mm-hmm.
asked the question: Are you isolated
Mm-hmm.
or wounded, or do you know any Jehovah's Witnesses who are in that predicament, or ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who are isolated and wounded?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people sent messages. At least a lot of people for 5 years ago.
Yeah, when we were just starting.
And we had actually done another one just before that. So this is in the first 2 months of the channel.
Yeah,
And the first one was called There Is Life After the Watchtower.
right.
So those two thoughts have been on our hearts again recently because of, well, news we get from various places because of some things that have developed over those 4 years, including a lot more connections across the planet. And we're getting reports that really
Yeah.
hurt us in the heart because we're hearing of a lot of despairing
Yeah.
PIMOs
Very
and
depressed
ExJWs.
people who are even suicidal, and oftentimes they carry it through. So that always is a burden when you hear something like that, and you think, what can we do to help people in that situation? So this is kind of a call to you if you're a witness, a PIMO, or a witness who's depressed, because we're hearing of thousands of very depressed people who don't think there's any help anywhere. So, and there is help. They're just not aware of it. And the Watchtower caters to your fear that you'll be isolated, that you'll be alone if you leave the Watchtower. And that's not necessarily so. It doesn't have to be so.
It is a tribute to the propaganda power, though, of the Watchtower that they get away with this because so many retreat into isolation automatically because that's the only default you have. They've told you so many times where can you go?
Yeah.
And there is an answer to that. Even the where there's an answer to. It's, of course, the original question is not where, it's who. Who should you go to? Well, Jesus still exists.
Yeah.
He existed before the Watchtower. But there's also the community of Jesus. That is the church.
Yeah.
And we bought the Watchtower's rationale that there's no choice but to remain one of Jehovah's people in the ark.
And that there's no committed people other than Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, that's just not true. There are lots of lovely, committed, and better informed people than Jehovah's Witnesses.
We met some of them right away the very first year we were out, and that's, I think, one of the points we made, that because we jumped into the book business right away, we met committed Christians.
Yeah.
And because of the books, we realized they're better equipped, better informed than we ever gave them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not changed. So what has changed, though, in the 35 years since we left, because that first video was put out on the 30th anniversary of our being disfellowshipped, April 9th, 1988. What year was it? 88.
88, yeah.
So we put that video out, There Is Life After the Watchtower, to make the point that even then there were lots of resources available, but what we have now is amazing.
It is, because when we left, we went into the book business to build our own library, and because we could see the value of books and we wanted to encourage people to read. But we were very limited even in what you could get, even what we could get. We got it in bits and pieces over years. But now you can get so much stuff free and just download from your computer. Wonderful resources.
The riches are endless, really.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to communicate to everybody who gets a chance to see this or pass on what's in this video and the recommendations at the end. The resources that are available now are unbelievable. Yes, you'll be challenged with a lot of your beliefs if you're a witness, but you can't be challenged as to the value of the materials.
Yeah.
And so many of them are available, if not for free, for Kindle downloads.
For very, very
very
cheap.
little.
Yeah.
So we really have no excuse for not getting the help we need. And so we're basically saying, not only is there hope, we said that in the previous view, there's life after the Watchtower, there's hope, but there's also help. Yeah. And that help is not limited to just resources, i.e. information. it's also people. Because
Yeah.
one thing that's changed for us is in those 5 years is
Well, we started Zoom groups. So when we first heard about, the desperation of people, that they needed help, and through the channel we got messages from people all over the world, and we were making friends with these people. But Zoom has changed, made it even more fantastic, I would say, because you can have a live chat with fellow believers, a lot of people who leave the Watchtower or are in that desperate situation, depressed, is because they love truth. And they want to be able to study the Bible. They want to be able to talk about things. They want to be able to ask questions and do a real research of things, seeing all sides, which you don't get when you're a witness. You get their side, and there is no other side. So I think by having these Zoom groups, you end up having fellowship, spiritual fellowship, nourishment, but the friendships that can come from doing it has helped me. I mean, I'm 30-something years out of the Watchtower, but I still found that this has been a source of healing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be that for you too.
And the number of channels that's developed. It's not just our stuff that's out there,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of other channels
Support
that
groups.
are advocating Christian resources
Mm-hmm.
and sharing Christian resources and having support group or organizing support groups for people like, well,
Yeah, all over the world.
and some of them we are in constant contact with. So some of the Zoom groups we want to share with you are organized by us, or at least involved us, but some of them aren't. So there's a lot of different options, and unfortunately we have to accommodate the level of understanding, or for that matter the doctrinal commitment of the ex-witness community, and that's all over the place.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone who is desperate for fellowship and wants to keep their faith alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in terms of resources, though, what do we have? Well, since those videos went up 5 years ago, we've got the Zoom groups, which I think we can put a link into our email link. We'll help people to get directly in contact with us to find out about the groups.
We'll give you a link to our website and our email in the description. But if you go on the website, there's a couple of ways in which you can contact it. You don't have to use an email direct. If you don't feel comfortable with that, there's one that goes through the website. There's on the website page some pointers as to what you might want to start with. Videos watching, especially if you're new and you've never seen any of our stuff. This will give you kind of pointers of what we would suggest as good things to start with. But there are 60-something playlists.
So one of the buttons on the first page of the website is
at the bottom,
is playlists.
And there's
It's a PDF
hundreds of
resources
videos,
of the dozens of resources that are PDF format that you can either view on the channel on the website or download.
Yeah, free.
And they're free.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also another button that is a link to a lot of the books that have been recommended by ourselves and others.
Reference, but it's book recommendations.
And then there's contact us.
Contact us, yeah.
So that's one way to contact us. The other thing is we will put our email in the description.
Yeah.
And we're also going to link to an interview that we did with Lori Jane, who is one of the friends
who we met through the channel, and she started a support group, and has been helping people too. So there's all kinds of people like that who start off. The fellow who did our website we met through the channel.
His name is Austin. He's come out now.
Somebody else who had left contacted him, and they both had been watching us. So we learned about him through that, and then he helped us with something we couldn't do. He designed and created the website for us.
So the bottom line for all of us is, even for us, which was the great surprise, that when you start open up and form these connections and networks,
Yeah.
all kinds of things can happen.
Yeah.
By the way, our son is in Great Britain right now. Max is in Great Britain right now, staying, has been staying with another friend
That we met through
we
the
met
channel.
through the channel.
Yeah. So it really opens up, and a lot of the people who come to the Zoom groups have befriended each other and have discussion groups of their own. So it's sort of just a springboard, and it will take you in a lot of different directions.
Bottom line, there is
You don't have to be alone. There's hope, and there is help for you. So don't let that fear factor prevent you from contacting. You know, there are people who have a love for truth and are discouraged and need help, or just need somebody to talk to.
and there's that. And
Yeah.
some of the things that have happened have been really heartening to us, like spontaneous support groups that spring up without any plan.
Prompting or plan, yeah. It's just you meet people and they have like stories, and you love each other. You pray for each other.
There's that instant bond, which is so amazing when you get people like us coming out of cults.
Yeah.
They bond instantly, and there's no need for conversation starters.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So contact us, and we'll let you know more about the Zoom groups and all the other resources available. Go to the website and let us know what you think. And hopefully we'll see you soon. We'll put a link on to the Lori Jane interview,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people who care.
Yeah. See you soon.